Let's get right to our panel. Richard Wolff is Vice President and Executive Editor of MSNBC.com, and Crystal Ball is my colleague and co-host of The Cycle. Welcome to you both. Crystal, just talk for a brief moment about that magnificent exchange between Congressman Keith Ellison and the great Sean Hannity. I've heard it described as electric, epic, astonishing. What words would you use to describe the utter evisceration of Mr. Hannity on his own broadcast?
Well, it's all of those. It's also a little bit of dispatches from the Department of Obvious. You know, I don't think anyone serious thinks of him as a serious journalist. He does just spout talking points. And his line is the exact same line as the Republicans, which is the sequester. Oh, it's not all that bad. The president is making it out to be this big deal. It's really not. And on the other hand, saying, but it's all the president's fault and this is awful because Obama did this to us. So it doesn't make any sense. And God bless Keith Ellison for pointing out the absurdity of what he was saying.
Right. Richard, let's turn to the most popular Republican.
Can we not stay with
Well, we can. Well, what's your feeling? Did you enjoy it?
I did. It's so pitiful. But, you know, that look on his face when he has no comeback. Keith Ellison states the obvious to him. He has no self-awareness that he is a parody of a journalist, and yet he's... What did you say? And the great thing is that there he is saying that the president's fear-mongering. What has Fox been doing all these years but fear-mongering? I mean, are they upset that there's someone who's encroaching on their monopoly of fear? Sorry, I interrupted.
No, but so you didn't find it the great apex of journalistic achievement?
For him?
Yes.
I don't think he can spell apex.
OK. Let's turn to the most popular Republican in the land, Chris Christie. New Jersey wrote as you...
Republicans are stuck in a right-wing bubble that keeps reality on the outside. Once in a while, the truth slips in. That's what happened when Democratic Congressman Keith Ellison squared off last night against Fox's Sean Hannity, who was claiming that the president was just scaring the public over budget cuts. The result was a smackdown for the ages.
Quite frankly, you are the worst excuse for a journalist I've ever seen.
I am
absurd,
the what? I can't hear you.
You heard me.
I didn't know. Say it again. I didn't hear you.
I heard you. I mean, what you just displayed was not journalism. It was yellow journalism. It wasn't anything close to trying to tell the American people what's really going on. And I mean, it's just shocking. The president was honest. What the president said was dead on accurate. And for you to say the president is to blame here is ridiculous. I was there August 2011 when the Republicans, your party, which you shamelessly
I'm not a Republican.
represent,
Let me correct the record.
You are nothing but a Republican.
No,
yes,
sir,
you are.
Sir,
yes, you are.
Sir, I'm a registered. Sir.
Well, let me just say,
I am not a registered Republican. I'm a registered conservative.
You are a shill for the Republican Party.
I am a registered conservative,
you alibi
sir.
them constantly.
In the spirit of bipartisanship, let's find a dialogue. I want to ask you this.
I thought you weren't a Republican.
Max, I'm a registered conservative. I am,
yeah,
sir.
Right.
You want to make $1,000 bet that I'm a registered conservative? You want to make a $10,000 bet?
I don't bet.
What is it with Republicans and the $10,000 bets? The truth is they can't handle the truth.
I've given you plenty of time to rant, Congressman. Now
we'll let you get a word in. Go ahead.
Oh, you're so nice to give me a word on my own program.
Okay, I changed my mind.
Let me ask you a question.
Let's close loopholes on large corporations. Yeah. Let's say that yachts and jets should not be something you can write off. Let's say that ExxonMobil and Chevron should not get a tax rebate and a subsidy. Let's start there. Let's say that people who get to pay less on
all right, Congressman, you're ranting really well. Can I ask you a question?
What I'm saying, you say I'm ranting.
Here's a simple question.
If you don't like what I'm saying, but you're a bully, Sean, and I'm not backing down to you.
Is it immoral? Is it immoral to put 16 and a half? I'm immoral? What did I do that's immoral? I didn't do anything that's immoral.
You say things that aren't true.
Give me one example, sir.
Well, to try to say that it is the president's fault and he is to blame is wrong, and it's a lie.
It's not his fault that we have $16 trillion in debt. He didn't add $6 trillion.
No, it isn't.
We didn't add $6 trillion to the debt since he's been president.
No.
We did add $6 trillion to debt since he's been president.
What about the other 10? Right. Let's talk about the other 10.
Congressman, you are a total waste of time. I'm moving on because our audience deserves better. Thank you for being with us. I tried to give you a fair shot. And coming up,
no, you didn't.
Today
looks to me like someone's bubble just got burst. Joining me now is Cynthia Tucker. Cynthia, Is that what happens when the truth blows up the right wing's echo chamber?
You know, Reverend Al, the simple fact of the matter is that the congressman was absolutely right when he said that Fox News isn't journalism. It isn't. It's propaganda. It is propaganda, perhaps masquerading as journalism. Perhaps their base of viewers understand it to be journalism, but it isn't. You know, you can dismiss Keith Ellison as a partisan. He's a Democrat. But the simple fact of the matter is that there have been several highly respected studies that show that viewers of Fox News are less well-informed. They know less. They are more misinformed than people who get their news from any other source. In fact, one study said that Fox viewers are less informed than people who don't watch any news at all. So The congressman was absolutely right. It isn't journalism.
Now, when you look at the fact that a lot of people who are conservative and Republican are dealing with this kind of hysteria, Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe, last Tuesday, ripping GOP for being stuck in their own little media world. Watch this.
For conservatives that think they have to stay in their own little media world, since Rush Limbaugh went on the air and became a national figure, Republicans have lost 5 out of the last 6 presidential elections in the popular vote. Since Fox News went on the air in 1996, Republicans have lost 4 out of 5.
And that's what I really want to deal with. It may make them feel good in the echo chamber and to say things that they feel they all agree with, but they can't win. They have lost the relevance of their party. And I think that's the point that Scarborough and a growing list of conservative Republicans are saying, is this has rendered them ineffective.
Absolutely. Every now and then the truth does intrude and smack them right upside the head, as happened to Karl Rove when he was on Fox News on election night, sitting there simply refusing to believe that Obama was winning re-election. And so it hasn't served their party well at all to have a continuing steady diet of things that absolutely are not true. Another example is that several conservative outlets kept repeating that Chuck Hagel would not be confirmed. He was going down to defeat. So undoubtedly, some of them were stunned when he was confirmed fairly easily. So no, it isn't serving the Republican Party or its voters very well to have them served a steady diet of things that are simply factually untrue. And people like Joe Scarborough and David Frum and a few others are trying to get them to come to their senses. Wake up. We need to live in a reality-based universe.
Now, when you look at the fact that the president himself said last month that Fox and Rush are helping to create gridlock in Washington, it's not only hurting the party, it's hurting the country. Look at what the president said. It says, if a Republican member of Congress is not punished on Fox or by Rush Limbaugh for working with the Democrat on a bill of common interest, then you'll see more of them doing it. I mean, isn't that the real problem that he's raising there, is that Republican politicians are controlled by far-right talkers who care more about ratings than they do about the people and about the progress for the country?
Absolutely. I mean, Republican members of Congress have had to apologize to Rush Limbaugh for daring to say something, utter a bit of tepid criticism of him. They live in utter fear of the man. They live in utter fear of being called out by Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity on Fox News. And it is not at all good for the country when they are more afraid of Rush Limbaugh than they are afraid of doing the wrong thing for the people who sent them to Washington.
Cynthia, I'm going to have to leave it there. Cynthia Tucker, thanks for your time tonight.
Good to be here, Rev.
The Supreme Court and the ghost of the civil rights movement. That's next.
Welcome back to The Ed Show. You know, a guy can only take so much lying. Tonight, I'm calling out my old buddy Sean Hannity for the way he conducts business over at Fox News. Now, last night, Hannity claimed President Obama is trying to scare Americans over the fallout from the sequester. He put together, I thought, a very disrespectful video mocking the consequences of the looming spending cuts. Here's a small portion of the 2-minute clip.
Border Patrol agents will see their hours reduced. FBI agents will be furloughed. Federal prosecutors will have to close cases and let criminals go.
Well, Hannity's guest, Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison, he didn't care too much for that video. Ellison put away his Minnesota nice attitude for a moment and gave Hannity a piece of his mind.
Quite frankly, you are the worst excuse for a journalist I've ever seen.
I am the what? I can't hear you.
You heard me.
I didn't know. Say it again. I didn't hear you.
I heard you. I mean, what you just displayed was not journalism. It was yellow journalism. Every journalistic ethic I have ever heard of was just violated by you. You are a shill for the Republican Party.
I am a registered conservative,
alibi
sir.
them constantly. The people watching your show should ignore all of the commentary that you put in and all of the hype music that you put on, and should pay attention to what the president actually said, because what the president said was true.
That's a hot one. What do you think? Congressman Ellison hit it out of the park? I think so. People should ignore Hannity because these spending cuts are serious. If no deal is reached by Friday, here's the deal. 10,000 teachers could lose their jobs. Airport security could be cut by $323 million. 70,000 kids would be kicked off Head Start. FEMA's disaster relief budget would be cut by $375 million. Public housing would be cut by $1.9 billion. And overall, hundreds of thousands of middle-class jobs would be at risk. The list goes on and on. Hannity has no clue to mock these cuts with his video. And again, he's just flat out wrong. President Obama isn't fear-mongering over the sequester. He's looking out for the American people. It's something Sean Hannity knows nothing about. Now, with that, I'm just going to let Congressman Ellison wrap things up.
Quite frankly, you are the worst excuse for a journalist I've ever seen.
Their days of holding our country hostage are coming to an end.
Illinois voters fire a shot heard around the country. There is major movement on gun safety, and the big congressional panel weighs in next. A North Dakota lawmaker objects to a missing children's law, and she's using Jesus as her excuse. The bizarre story ahead. And does the NFL have the right to ask about sexual orientation?
Yeah, you have a girlfriend? Are you married? You like girls?
Super Bowl champion Brendan Iabadeo of the Baltimore Ravens takes on the NFL's tolerance for gay players. That's ahead.